Yes, sir. Welcome to Paradise High Club. Yes, sir, baby. We back. Anyways, how y'all chilling? How y'all feeling? You dig? Shit, it's been a minute since I recorded, so it's a little awkward in here. Been like a good 2 months. All the other episodes that usually come out are all like pre-recorded and shit. You know, they were pre-recorded within like a spam of like 3 weeks, even with all the people and all that. Much appreciated. But I was taking a little break just because I had to get some stuff out the way and my mind clear and all that. But every day I'm waking up, I still gotta go and post. I still gotta go finish editing some stuff. I still gotta, the mic is always looking at me. The equipment is here. It's like, let's have fun with it. Fuck it, I don't care. I don't care how it sounds. Like I said, this ain't for no cloud. This ain't for none of that. I just do it for the love of doing it. I'm obviously not pushing none of this out, so you know what I mean. I'm here. We live, like I said. So I got a couple things I want to talk about. I'm gonna start off with I got a little topic named pipes and bongs versus joints and blunts. You know what I mean? Cause this is Paradise High Club. We stay high over here. We smoke while we record. Smoke while we edit. We smoke before we record, and we smoke after we record. You know what I mean? So yeah, I personally first started smoking using a blunt. We used to get some swishers or some backwoods, and usually it was always backwoods because in those times backwoods was like the main popping shit. Everybody had like backwoods hoodies. Everybody kept their backwoods wrapper and hanged it up on their wall for whatever reason. Um, like if it was exclusive or some shit, but shit, it was a trend. That's what I started smoking on. That's what the people around me was smoking. So I was like, yo, funny thing is, when I first started smoking, I never really put money into it. Motherfuckers always wanted to smoke with me, so they was always like, "Yo, match up, match up." And I was like, "Nah, nah." I would always be like, "Nah," because I wasn't really trying to smoke. But they was like, "I got you," I was like, "Alright, fuck it." But yeah, I started off with just blunts and shit. I had, you know, it was good. It was good. I always liked the smell of a backwood burning. I am against it though because it does have like the tobacco products, and I'm just really just trying to smoke the weed itself. So in that case, that's where I would have the W go to pipes and bongs, because especially with pipes you get the straight hit of the weed, and you actually taste it and all that. But if you're just trying to get high and you don't really care, then I'm a joint person. I fucking stuff cones and shit like that. I'm always smoking out of papers. I don't mix nothing with it. Just straight up the bud. Um, Sometimes I throw in the keef, or I'll go buy some like wax and like put little chunks of pieces in it, cause why not? You know what I mean? But other than that, I don't put anything. I don't use no Fonto, no Grabo, none of that rah shit, whatever y'all want to call it. But I'm always more of a joint person because I just like I love the process of breaking it down, rolling it, holding something while you smoke. Keep lighting it, whatever. A pipe is essentially the same thing. All you do is just stuffing it and just burning it. But I would rather do that with a bong. So when it comes to pipes versus bongs, I would rather, me personally would rather go to the bongs, but I would say pipes are better just because you're gonna get the taste of it. You're gonna get that hit instantly and all that. You don't gotta worry about changing the water out, cleaning the water out. All you gotta do is just really, you know, dip your shit in alcohol and just leave it there for the whole day, and you'll see how yellow that alcohol gets from cleaning it out, and give it a little rinse out, and it's good to go again. I do need to invest in a pipe though, cause that's the only thing I'm missing. Um, but when it comes to joints versus blunts, I will go for joints. Smoke papers, whatever brand you're using. Do your research on that. That's up to you. Whatever. I personally use Blazy Susan papers now. I was a big raw head, but I wanted to. I switched it up. I think Blazy Susan is also a little better than Raw, but yeah, it's personal choice, like I said. Um, but in the category of me picking pipes and bongs versus joints and blunts, I'm gonna go with joints and blunts just because, like I said, I'm a person who likes to smoke out of a joint. You bong hits are good, like here and there, and also pipes. Like I said, I gotta invest, but like I said, a joint is always just on the go. You always have it rolled. You know what I mean? Like it's just lit. I like it. I also did want to talk about each experience on like each first experience I've had on each of the things, just to have my story like out. In case people want to know, like, oh, how does it feel? First time getting high or first time smoking this, that. Because it is all different things. Like, it's all the same product you're using, but it's all different, ways to smoke it and shit. So even when it comes down to dabs and uh, just gravity bongs and all these other extra, because there's so many different ways you can smoke. You know what I mean? You can smoke using an apple. I haven't done that yet, but I know you can. I've seen how to do it. It's pretty lit, actually. I might want to try it. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go with my first ever of each experience right now. So first ever time I smoked out of let's start with a blunt because that was the first thing. That was the first time I ever actually smoked. Anyways, the first thing I ever used was a blunt, like I said. Um, Let me see if I can remember. I remember I was probably a senior in high school already. Um, I probably had only started smoking maybe for in that year. I think starting the beginning of high school, senior year. Nah, cap. So it was junior year. It was 11th grade. That was when I first started smoking. Probably the beginning of that, cause then I stopped. Uh, at It was like the end of the year, but in my senior year. If that makes sense. So I was in high school, and a couple of my friends would already be smoking. I wasn't really a smoker. I didn't want to really get into that. Not that I really didn't want to get into that. It just wasn't me. I knew that that's just not what I was trying to do. And I guess there was one time I believe I had the free crib and for the whole week, and my brother already moved out. He was in his own spot. My sister already lived in her own house, so it was legit the free crib just to myself. So I was like, fuck it. I believe that was the same week as spring break. So I was like, bet. Even better. We don't gotta go to school, none of that. We don't gotta worry about that shit. So I remember that weekend that my parents left, threw a little get together, between a couple friends, couple drinks, you know what I mean? It was pretty lit. Um we didn't smoke, but the day after, when we woke up, found everyone everywhere, bro. I'm talking about there was probably like three heads in my room. I fell asleep in my parents' room. Somebody in the living room couch. Somebody set up dining room table, chairs like all together. I think it was Kobe. He set them up all together and just slept like that. Felt bad for Kobe, but Kobe a real one, yo. But Matt has just ended up waking up there, and the next day we're like, yo, like let's clean up, whatever, whatever, and then we could just let's go get some food or some shit. So he cleaned up, whatever, and then we just went to go get some bacon, egg, and cheese down the block. But as we saw that, we saw there was a truck in front of on Old Country Road when there was for a little moment, for a little time, there was a halal food truck. So it was like, yo, we gotta go get halal. We went to go get that shit, and then later that night they were like, "Oh, let's smoke." Whatever. The day had gone by. A couple people left. A couple people came. You know, um, they brought some bud, and we was like, I was like, "Yo," I was like, "I'm down. I'm down to smoke it, but not inside. Like we could smoke that shit in the back." I was like, and they were like, "Oh, can we roll up in here?" And I was like, "Nah, no weed inside the crib at all. Like let's just keep that shit outside." I had a big ass backyard and we had a little close backyard patio, so we was like, "Yo, fuck it, let's go roll up there and then we'll smoke outside." So we did that, whatever, smoked out of the blunt. I think that I didn't smoke it right because I just didn't feel nothing. So I didn't know like how to basically inhale it. So I would just basically pull it and just keep it in my mouth and then blow it all out. So I wasn't actually like inhaling. So fast forward a little bit, I ended up it was probably that same year but in the winter. So well during the winter. So my brother lived in Oyster Bay and my sister was there, and I pulled up with my sister and we're just there hanging out, and they were like, "Oh, we know you smoke this and that, blah blah." Mind you, like they're my older siblings. My sister is 6 years older than me. My brother is like 10, 11 years older than me. So like our age difference is very far apart. You know what I mean? So they knew like they wasn't stupid. In high school around the same time, everybody was doing it. You know what I mean? Everybody was trying it, whatever, whatever. So they was like, "Oh, we know you smoke this and that." Funny story was that I didn't really smoke like that. I probably would smoke. It was that I remember that first time smoking, that whole week we smoked, but I still wasn't smoking it right. And then probably after that was like once a month. But once I got to do it with my brother and my siblings, this is why I remember the story so fucking vividly. It was like, "Oh, you smoke this and that, blah blah." In my head, I'm like, they think I'm a smoker, whatever. I'm gonna just play it off and be like, "I bet," because in my head, I'm thinking like, the way we grew up, like if you don't do certain stuff or whatever, like you pussy, whatever, like just cause that's just how we grew up, tough love and all that. So I was like, in my head, I'm like, I can't tell them I don't, because then they're gonna look at me like a virgin. So I was like, I bet. So I was like, I gotta I gotta be like, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, here and there, And they was like, oh, come smoke with us. And I was like, nah, nah. And I was like, oh, damn, you can only smoke with your friends and you can't smoke with your family. And I was like, fuck it then. So we go into their back porch area and we start smoking, whatever, whatever. I'm smoking good, whatever. I haven't coughed, haven't gotten them virgin lung moments, whatever. Did not cough the whole time I was smoking it. This time I was actually smoking it the right way because I had figured out an easier way for me to do it, which was just inhaling it, putting it into your mouth, and then letting it go a little bit, and then just sucking in. I think it's called like the ghost smoke or some shit like that. I don't know. People have their names for it, but that's all I would do, and that's the easiest way that it would help me. And I still actually do that to this day because I, I don't know why. It just became a habit after that. Um, but I do that a couple times. I'm good. I'm good. After a while, like we finished that, and we only had that one blunt, so I was like, good. So we were like, oh, let's go hang out inside, this and that. We go inside, and we're just talking in their room, and after a while, they're like, because it was getting late. They were like, we're gonna leave, this and that, and I was supposed to leave with my sister and her husband, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna stay. I was like, I'm gonna just sleep over with them, just because I was so fucking nervous and paranoid of what my parents would think, this and that. They were definitely gonna smell it on me, this and that. I didn't know how I was gonna act. Like I was feeling like high already, so I was feeling good in the moment. Then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go to sleep," and I'm like, "What?" Nah, I was like, I thought we were gonna hang out a little bit. That's why I was staying. And they ended up going to bed. They were like, "Oh, here, some covers, so you can sleep in the couch." And I was like, "All right." So I go to the couch, and my phone was charging in their room. I had forgot it there, bro. I could not do anything to save myself. I'm just laying down on the couch trying to fall asleep at the moment, and I felt like I was dying. I was about to pass out from my heart, my chest fucking beating like crazy. I'm over here like, bro, I'm about to die. I'm about to have a heart attack. Something is happening right now. But I was just mad high. I was just mad paranoid. I basically turned myself into a negative thought, thinking I couldn't deal with it by myself. But I think after that, like I would smoke and then I would know how to handle it. But it was because I was always smoking with a group of crowd. But I knew how to like actually like get high, like I guess get high now, and um, I was doing it with other people, so I was always getting a good experience. I guess it was just how to deal with the high by myself in that moment. But after that, I was able to do it. There was times where I would go and hang out senior year with a couple of my boys, and we would go and like roll up and just smoke in the back of my in the back of a shout out white boy Kevin's truck. Um, and we would just match up there, and then right after we was done smoking, we would hit 7-Eleven, and then he would just drop us off home, just because he was like, that high doesn't hit me until like 30 minutes later. So he was like, I want to do this and get you out the way so I could go enjoy it by myself. And that's all we would do. And we'd be like, all right. Sometimes we would just be like, let's go play PS4 or whatever, like drop us off, get on PS4 and this and that. And um, so that's the way I would end up having to deal with the high by myself. So it would kind of be the same way for me though. Like even till this day, like I don't feel the high until maybe like a minute or two later, or like 5 minutes later or something like that. It's just weird. It's just weird to me. Like um first ever joint, I honestly don't remember. Actually, I do. I think I do remember. I think it was when I stopped smoking. I started smoking again, but when I started smoking, I was smoking out of the pens, though the pretty much the wax pens, and the way we would smoke it is like we would just hang out and go like drive around with like B5. Shout out B5's car, um, and we would just be smoking it in the back of his car and I don't really remember the first time for that, but I do remember like we would always start smoking it in the car. Like that was our first time, and that was basically my basic getting back into smoking again. Um, so it was sometime after that is when I first started smoking joints. I don't really remember the story to that though. I just remember that's when we started using like papers and stuff, and I got introduced to cones and because I'm not good at rolling up even to this day. I just use cones and shit. Um, and then you got let me see if I don't remember smoking out of a pipe first time. The bong I do remember. Um, my boy had brought over his small little bong, and it was and what's it called? And he brought it over, and this was like maybe during COVID time, maybe like yeah, around maybe a little bit before that or a little like after that, like during that summer or something. Um, so he would have the bong and he brought it over and I don't know, I don't remember like what we were doing. I just remembered it was at my house and taking the hit of that shit. He packed it to the fullest because he gave it to one of our boys first who doesn't really smoke like that. Who doesn't smoke pretty much at all. He only smokes when he hangs out with us and we would rarely see him. So he gave it to him first. He takes a hit of that shit and he's like, "Oh, that shit was perfect. That shit feels mad good. This and that, blah blah." And I was like, he took a full hit, and he's like, they replied like, yeah, yeah, he he emptied it out, and I was like, alright, if he could do it, this shit is nothing to me, then definitely, because he doesn't even smoke. So he packs it fully. I take a hit. I couldn't even do half of that shit. That shit hit me so fucking hard. I was like, nah, bro. I was coughing for legit like 10 minutes, dying, bro. I could not. I could not. I was like, nah. I was so mad because that kid does not smoke at all, and he just fucking killed that shit. I didn't find out till like months later or something like that that every time he would pack his, because the friend who would bring the bong would always end up packing it for us and all that because he just didn't trust us with his piece like that. He would just you know so he would always pack it for us, and he would pack it like a little like for him, he would always pack it like less than half. He would only like put like a little bit, but he'll leave it all at the top. He wouldn't push it down, so it would look like full. He would let him hit that shit, and that's it. Then to us, he would legit pack the whole shit because he knew we would smoke a lot. So after a while, like when I found that out, I was like, bro, you were fucking killing us, bro. Like we couldn't even handle that shit. That shit, fucking Kobe was scared of bongs ever since afterwards. Like you never even see Kobe hit a bong until like unless you force that motherfucker because that shit gave us all bad experience and shit. But nah, I love the bong. I now could. I still don't pack it fully. If I pack it fully, I'll take like slow hits and just let it burn and slow and kind of like a joint. But usually I pack it like halfway and rip that shit. Yeah, but that's pretty much my first bong experience, I guess. But I got a couple stories, having to do with like bongs and edibles and stuff like that. But we gonna let everything expand out. I don't want to like rush everything into it. I don't want to just throw everything into one episode and all that. Like I kind of want to give everything its each episode and lead up to it or something like that. It's time for question for today. Alright, so the question for today is, what do you think dreams are? Question mark. So I think that dreams are things that happened in the afterlife. That's what I had came up with. Either the afterlife or something that like has happened to you before or something like that. It's like a memory basically. But sometimes I don't believe in that because I've had dreams where like I've seen people who passed away before and things like that, and you know how like dreams always have like a message or whatever.
Hmm.
So um yeah, I don't know. I think that's what dreams are. What about you?
I feel like dreams are. I think they're also like memories and stuff because I feel like you don't. Because I know dreams are like random and shit like that. Like you sometimes you'll dream about the most like random and shit, but it's like something that like either you've seen before or like it's
I feel like
maybe
it's
not
an
exactly
it's an
like you
exa-
saw it,
it
but
is it's an exaggerated story or something like that.
yeah, it's like an exaggerated version of like something you either saw or like a person that you've met before or like a situation you've been in and then you just like make it like amplify it in your dream or
Yeah,
something.
basically they make a movie out of one like small thing. Like it could have been like I got into a fight and let's say like it was just a regular old fight. We both just stopped out of nowhere and that's it. But in the dream, it could have like made it seem like, oh, I killed the guy or something like that.
Or like let's say you were playing like Mario Kart or something and like you hate this dude, right? So you guys are like racing in your dream,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah, basically
but it's like
something
because
like
like
that.
you play Mario Kart before going to bed, so then like when you go to sleep, you're gonna dream of Mario Kart, and then you hate this dude. So then in the dream, you're racing that dude.
Yeah. It's like an exaggerated like thing type thing. All right. So now we are here in el show, the Cenia y Saul relationship show.
No, say what you want to say.
I wanted to say el guapo y la mala, but she got tight, so we're
Cause
gonna
I'm not
change it.
mala,
Cause
you're
we're gonna
mala.
change the name of it. That's it. So what I wanted to talk about is basically our first time, like our not first time as in like that, like first time as in like when we first met. How we basically started dating and all that. Yeah, because we only recorded. This is take three, by the way, guys. I'm just gonna say it now because we're both in that headspace right now. But what's it called? But basically, you're gonna be hearing more of us on the episodes. I haven't been recording again. I already mentioned the episode because whatever. But so basically, this is our reintroduction, and I feel like the right way to start it is to start off on how we basically met and how we ended up together and all that. Since it is a a relationship type show, and. So do you wanna give in first or
No, you start first because you were the one who noticed me. Cause I never noticed your little ugliness.
facts? Alright, so basically we were in high school. Um Senia was a freshman and I was a senior, and basically my cousin Eric knew Senia, and shout out Eric, and and I was hanging out with him, and he ended up wanting to go and talk to one of his friends that was also friends with Senia, that was also friends with me. Um, what's it called? Then he basically introduced me to them, even though I already knew the other person. Um, but he introduced me to Cenia, and I didn't know Cenia at all. I didn't even know who she was or anything. But I always I mentioned this a lot before, but she looked very more like she looked basically more mature, and she looked very stuck up. So I was kind of scared and had like them, them doubts and all that, that basically she was just gonna like let me down, but she was gonna just basically like, cause Westbury's so fucking fucking black hearted over there and shit, and they don't care how you feel, they'll cut your ass while basically denying, you as a person type shit. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Like rejecting it, like instead of them being like, no, I'm good, they'd be like, boy, if you don't get your thirsty ass out my DMs, and then probably screenshot it and then
Ugly
post you up, or yeah,
ass.
basically, whose man's is this? Some shit like that. Like the niggas be dragging it in Westbury. Niggas be fucking black hearted and shit. But so I was just kind of like, and I was shy, so I didn't even want to go and like shoot my shot like that. I didn't know nothing of her. I didn't know she had a boyfriend. I was gonna keep it respectful. You know what I mean? So I ended up getting close to the friend that Eric introduced, also, well, reintroduced, because I already knew her from like, you know D Block. You know what I mean? Um, had to add that little sound effect. And what's it called? And I was like, "Yo, put me on. What do you know about her? I didn't want to know. I didn't want to know like every single detail, because I wanted to know that from you specifically. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I was like, what's her name? This and that, blah blah. And the only class, oh, well, the only time we ever got to see each other together was lunch, and it was only day one lunch. And I remember that was like, yo, like that's the only time I see her. I never fucking see her in the hallways. I was like, how the fuck, like, I never fucking knew this girl. Like, this girl got to be new or something. And then I remember she put us in a group chat, and then we started basically getting to know each other. From there, we made our own little chat between it together, and yeah, I shot my shot. But before I get to that part, I want you to, do your part from that introduction, I guess.
Okay, so basically, technically, I met you the first time was because Eric brought us. Eric introduced you to me, but I didn't really like. I guess I didn't like notice you like that because like,
You didn't pay
you
mind to
know,
me. You didn't think
like I
anything
didn't
of
pay
it.
mind to you. I was just like, oh, like hey, what's up, and that's it.
Yeah, because we didn't even talk either. We were just like, I was talking to what, like Eric and Chelsea,
Yeah.
and you were just there.
Oh my God. I was just there.
Well, I mean, it was Eric and Chelsea talking to each other, and we were just there.
Yeah, so I didn't really like pay mind to you because like I was like, oh, like hey, hey, like that's it, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but I remember you smelled nice though.
Thank you.
Um, but then after that, I think I don't know who I found out by. I think it was like from oh yeah from Chelsea because she made that group chat. She had told me about it.
Yeah. Wait. So, let me ask you something. I probably asked you this before, but just the for the show. Um, how long before she made that group chat did she talk to me about you?
Oh, like
Like,
from
did she tell you that same day, like, or like a week
yeah,
before, or something like that?
no, like she told me through that group chat.
Oh, so she made the group chat and then she told you right there. I thought she told you before that. 'Cause she had told me she told you
Hmm.
in the bus, and then that you were
Maybe
like,
she did, but I
eh,
don't think I remember.
and I think you were like that. You haven't paid your phone bill or some shit. I was like, she's not trying to talk to me.
That I have what?
That you didn't pay your phone bill or something like that.
Oh,
I remember that
I
shit.
that did not happen. I would have. I think I would have said that. I would have been like, I'd be like, who? Who was it?
I remember that part, but because then you were like that she was gonna pay it, and she did want to talk to me.
I said that. That doesn't sound like me.
Not
When we
as
were
in
out
like you
there.
did want to talk to me, but that you would like you wouldn't mind me talking to you, basically.
Oh yeah, because I've always been open to like if you wanted to talk to me, like I'll talk to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, basically like that.
Um, but basically that's the first time that like I know that you kind of had an interest in me because like before that I had no idea. I had seen you before though, like I knew you before, like I knew you from like when you were like a kid or something. Cause like I had seen you like around my blocks,
I
like
but
around
don't
the
mention
blocks.
don't spoil that part. Yeah, we didn't even get to that part.
Oh, okay. But
Well, you already
basically
spoiled it.
that's
But
but
continue
basically
from the when we were at.
oh my god.
So you suck at storytelling sometimes.
I do because I'm like very scattered. I cannot like go according to like, timeline. But basically, that's the first time I actually spoke. Like I guess I knew that you liked me, like or had like an interest in me was like when she made that group chat because like other than that, I had no idea. Nobody told me anything till like that point. She probably did speak to me though before though. Like maybe she did because like
She was the only
sometimes I just
person.
have
She was the only person that I told that I wanted to talk
yeah.
to you.
And then I remember I remember afterwards, I think Naya did say stuff to me. Like she would say something, she would say things, but she'd be like joking around and shit. Because like she'd be like, I guess like that's her. Like she'd be making jokes and shit about it. Like when we were like in class and stuff.
Mhm.
But like I don't think it was everything ever on anything serious. Like I think Chelsea was the only one that was like actually like kind of like pushing it, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah, because those are the only two like I really would like push to be like, yo, like get her to at least talk to me. I mean, like, let me at least like talk to her. Let me at least try. You know what I mean?
hmm And like initially, I was just like kind of like like I was like, no me gusta. I was like, está feíto el güey.
That's how you really felt.
I
Nah, you can be honest. I
was
just really want to know.
I was like, está feíto el güey, no me gusta. Right?
I believe
I'm
you.
just kidding. You're handsome though, babe. But like, in the beginning, I had to be a little bit of a hater.
So you did think I was ugly in the beginning.
Yeah, I was like, está feíto.
I
No me
knew it.
gusta.
I knew it.
I'm just kidding. But I like the way I think the other thing I like initially noticed of you that I kind of like started to make me like obviously like I don't remember how the hell it happened. Like from that point on, I don't remember what happened exactly. I just remember like little thingies that led to like us dating. Like what happened the next day? Like after that texting, like what happened the next day? Like
I don't remember like if we actually ever talked in school because I know you were shy, and the thing that I hated was because like I was shy too, and I knew that two shy people weren't gonna work out, so one of us would have to break shell. So I had to like really break out of my shyness by trying to get with you. That's when I knew shit was going serious because I was like, yo, if I really want to make this work, I can't be shy. I gotta really go for it.
I know that's when I low key felt the pressure though too, because I was like, oh damn, he's like actually trying.
I was never. I mean, I was a player back in like the days, but
Oh. No, but that's when I thought that's I so I did know of you like back in the day. Like I knew of you because I had seen you before. Like I
wait.
remember
Before that. Before saying that, when we started talking, that's when it was like it was even crazier because I thought you were a new person because I'd never seen you before. I had never seen you before, so I thought you were like new. Then we were talking all that. Eh, I,
nobody
I, then we were talking and all that, and then we I think I didn't take the bus in senior year. Um, but I had found out that you were taking the same bus as Chelsea, and I was like, wait, so she lives on ABC block. Then when I started talking to you, you live 2 blocks down, and it's not even like a full. It was pretty much like one full block down. That was the crazier part. And then you had told me that you pretty much lived there your whole life, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? So you've been living right there next to me the whole time, and I never noticed you. And I knew your brother. That's the crazier part. I knew Coyote.
How do you know Coyote?
'Cause I used to play ball. I used to be outside all the time. I used to be a callejero. I used to play ball like at fucking Bunky at Carl Place, and I think I played with him before there.
But basically, I had seen you before too, but like I saw you when you were like a kid or something. I hadn't seen like what you looked like, I guess like in like, you know, during that time. Like and you had like a little like fucking little facial hair like in high school. You're like trying to grow out your little beard and
Yeah,
stuff.
I
So
remember.
like you looked completely
I had the chin strap,
yeah, so
and
you
that
look
shit wasn't even
completely
connected.
different. All patchy and
Yeah, all
shit.
patchy, motherfucking patches over here.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, but I don't remember us talking. I only remember the texting, but after that, like I just remember like when we started dating.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember like I remember like little things that kinda led to it and shit. Like I remember like our first date and stuff. Like I remember like little interactions that we had like within school and stuff. Like when you would like go drop me off to my to like class and stuff.
Yeah,
And this was like
I
before we were
remember.
even
I well, I wanted to basically get into when we first started dating, like when we finally ended up becoming novios.
oh
So I want you, I guess, to say that part since I did the.
I guess like I don't know. I think I think I was really feeling you too because like I felt like you were actually like literally putting like your all into it. Like you were really trying like your hardest and stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to take you out
So
on a date too.
yeah, so I guess I like started catching feelings for you. And I was like, but you know what? This guy seems really nice. He seems cool. Like, like why not? Let me give it a shot. Like whatever. See where things go. But mind you, this was like my first like actual like relationship in the sense of what I'm saying. So like I didn't know how to go about it.
Right. and
So
the crazier part too is that before we started dating, we had only been talking for 1 month.
because I wanted to take it slow, see where things, lead off to. But you're like, you should wait.
I was just nervous because I I didn't know if you were gonna be one of them type of people that were like, yeah, I want to be talking to you for a couple months to see how you are, this and that. But I'm still single and people can talk to me. You know, what I mean, like people can still come and shoot their shot type shit. And the thing is with me, if like I'm talking to you, it means I'm talking to you. Like I got my attention on you. Like I'm not worried about
Mhm.
anybody right now. If you're not trying to fuck with me, then I'll give attention to whoever else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
get you.
that's why I was a little nervous in that point because I'm like I don't want to be wasting my time. You know,
hmm
like if you want to get with me, then give me that same energy type shit.
No, I get it. I get it.
And then I was like, bro, I want to take you out on a date, this and that. And then we finally planned the date. We went to go watch a movie. Um, and what's it called? And that what's crazier is that you always go to El Salvador around that time, and that's the one year that you didn't go in that time.
Yeah, that's crazy. That was the 1 year I didn't go,
Yeah.
and since then I've always been
Yeah, I
going. We've never
know. So
done no other
anytime we
Christmas or
do our
New Year's.
anniversaries, we do that shit even more long distance.
I remember
Great.
you picking me up in that loud ass car, and I remember my brother was like, "Who the fuck is that?"
I pulled up in the big blue suburban. We seen us
I don't
amigos.
even know I don't even know what I told him. I think because at the time, like, I guess I didn't speak to my brothers about like me dating or anything like that, or like me talking to anybody, because like it was like one of those weird conversations that you don't want to talk about.
Right.
So
Right.
like
Right.
I never told them anything like, oh, like yeah, I'm talking to somebody or this and that. Like they weren't aware of that. They were just like, I think Kevin was the one who was like, while I was getting ready, he was like, he's like, yo, who the fuck is outside with that loud ass car? And I was like, oh, I'm going on a date. And I don't think he asked any more further questions than that. He's like, oh, okay.
He was like, all right, you do that. Mierda.
You're dying.
But yeah, I remember picking you up, and I was feeling good the whole time getting ready and shit, because I was looking forward, because we were on vacation too, from school. So
Really?
and the only time, yeah, that was winter vacation. Well, not winter
Oh,
vacation. That's where Christmas
the
time.
spring. Oh,
No, it's
this
not.
is Christmas?
Yeah,
Oh
December.
my God, yeah. What the fuck? Okay, yeah.
So
Did I
what's it?
forgot about that?
So the only time we would see each other was in school, even though we lived right there. But so I was like, bet, the whole time leading to, I'm like, bet, she gave me a date. She gave me the actual time and date where I can finally take her out on a date. And I'm like, "Ah, I gotta use the car, this and that. I told my parents like, let me borrow the car, whatever, whatever. I got mad ready and all that. And then I go and scoop you up, and the minute I get outside your house, I'm like, damn, everything just dropped. My stomach dropped. I was like, shit. I was like, what am I gonna talk about? What am I gonna do? This and that. I was mad nervous. That shit hit me OD. It was like going in for an interview. So I was like, yo, what if shit don't go right? What if she's just like, I'm just trying to be friends? Then what? Then I'm like, you'll find a way home.
That's OD.
But then we ended up going to the movies. We went to go see Passengers, and that shit was jokes though. It was a relationship type movie, and it was basically perfect for the mood
Hmm.
because I just I picked that movie out because I was like, bet it's good. It's a relationship movie. It'll set the mood, this and that. But then it was funny as hell because the fucking people. Well, I think they sat next to us or in front of us.
I think no, they were next to us, right next to us,
The
because we were
lady
at the
with
end
the
of the
lady with the
aisle.
kids.
Yeah, and then she pulling out mad shit from her
She
big ass
pulled. I
bag.
remember she pulled out a 2-liter Sprite bottle out her bag. Gave all her kids, and I'm like, yo, they're not gonna stop talking. And then I remember there was a part in the scene. This is like the only two parts I remember. There was a part in the movie where they had said some romantic shit. And I think the guy had said it to her, and then I had looked at you, and then you had pointed to the lady, like as in me and her, and I was like, damn. I was like, she just told me she don't wanna fuck with me the way yo, that shit broke my heart. That I'm not gonna lie. That's when I was like, nah, she doesn't want to have anything to do with me like that.
I'm not gonna lie to you, that's just how I am though. Like my like
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't. It
yeah.
was just the only thing is because we were like, I was waiting to see if you were trying to be my novia and shit.
And I guess like because you didn't know me at the time too, but like I just
Exactly.
don't.
My hyena.
Oh, stop, please stop, stop, stop.
But yeah. By the end of the movie, we ended up walking out holding hands and all that.
It's so funny to think about it, yo. All cringy shit.
Yeah, that. And I remember after dropping you off, I went out to go hang out with the guys. We went to go match up, and I remember we're over there at the dead end, mad cold, trying to roll up, match up, and we're all in a circle like penguins, like trying to warm each other up with each other's like with each other's warmth and with body heat. And I start texting you, and I'm like trying to hide my phone, and I'm like, so does this mean we're together?
I remember you sending me that actually.
Yeah, I had to make sure, yo. I didn't want to look stupid. And then you were
Like
like,
before I tell my boys, I gotta make sure this is for real.
yeah, for I can't just be claiming somebody who don't claim me. She's gonna be like, nah, I never met this nigga in my life. Nah, but I was like, so is you my girl now? And you was like, yeah. And that's how I met your mother. Nah, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you're gross.
Uh, and yeah, that's pretty much how we first started dating. And so, how did you feel basically in that part?
Like once when we started dating,
Yeah,
I lie to you. I think I was like, I was double like double thinking it because I was like, am I sure? Am I for real? Because like now you know that I am a very indecisive person. Like I am very like you know like nervous and shit.
yeah.
So like in my head I was like kind of like running everything over. Like I'm like am I sure about this? Like am I really? Because like like obviously like I've always been like a very considerate person, like over someone's like feelings and stuff like that. So like I didn't want to end up hurting you or anything like that, you know?
Hmm.
Like if I wasn't 100% sure or 100% in it, you know?
Yeah.
So like I just like wasn't I was just like thinking about it. I'm just like, oh my God, like this is right? Like, is it good timing? Like, am I sure about this? So I was just thinking about everything, but like, I still was happy though because like I did like you a lot and like I kind of did want to like, proceed with like a relationship with you, but it's just like I was just so unsure of everything.
Yeah, the only thing is that like I felt like somewhat nervous is about is because like we had pretty much like I had pretty much rushed the relationship like for us to get into the relationship that I felt like we weren't gonna work out, but that's the thing where I was like I'm trying to keep it also like at a respectful thing, like like not rush anything like from here, like yeah, like the only thing is like I wanted to make sure like that if you're talking to me, you're talking to me type thing. So that's why like I was like, at least if I get to call you my girl, like even as we meet, like I still want to keep it respectful. You know what I mean? Just because you're my girl, like doesn't mean I could do this right away. Something that doesn't make you comfortable. So
Hmm.
even like breaking out of your shyness with me and all that, like shit probably took like a whole year, like just to do that, like to get you to actually talk to me comfortably, and then things after that, like even to get close to my siblings, it took like a whole nother year and all that. Like it was worth the wait, but it was also because we did like rush into the like relationship, so we didn't take anything well, we were taking everything slow. We were just already in a relationship while doing
Hmm.
it. But it was mainly my fault. It was mainly because like I say, I didn't want to make sure I didn't want to look stupid at the end, like giving my 100 to someone who's giving me 10%. If I know you're giving me 100, then it's perfect.
No, I get it. I get that.
But shit, we made it work. We're over here 6 and plus. 6 years and plus. Yeah.
Crazy. Crazy. No, you just don't
But I
believe
also
in.
been the type of person to keep it respectful, or even with like you would always tell me that your dad wouldn't want um like didn't want you dating anybody serious because he wanted you to focus on your school and all that. And I always like I went since the day you had told me that, like I had put that into my mind where I don't want to do something that affects your school. I always want
Hmm.
you to put school like even though it probably sounds stupid, but to me it wasn't. It was more like me focusing like on you. It was like doing like make sure you put school before even us, because at the end of the day, like even if we don't work out, you still need to make sure that your life is, you know, going straight. And make sure you're going the right way. You know, and your grades and your money is going positive.
Yeah, I get that.
So I always kept that respectful. Like I said.
I know. Somewhat.
What you mean?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.